जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारि यमुना तीर वनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारि यमुना तीर वनचारि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय गौरांगी बेंगलोरेश्वर गौरांगी जय राधा माधव श्री राधे जय राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधा कृष्ण चंद्र श्री राधे जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत देव लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत देव जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा सुभद्रा माई जय सुदर्शन निताई चैतन्य गायो निताई चैतन्य निताई चैतन्य गायो निताई चैतन्य जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र अभयचरण अरविंद देसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय इस्कॉन संस्थापक आचार्य बीबीटी संस्थापक आचार्य शिल सेवियर ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर जी की जय प्रेम से कहिए जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय गंगा मैया की जय यमुना मैया की जय भक्ति देवी वृंदा देवी महारानी की जय अयोध्या धाम की जय मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय श्री क्षेत्र पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय श्री मायापुर धाम की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटीज हरे कृष्णा ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटीज हरे कृष्णा ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटीज हरे कृष्णा ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्री गुरु एंड गौरांग शील प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्णा सो वी वेलकम for the weekly for the daily Bhagavatam Shrimad Bhagavatam class organized by ISKCON Seshadripuram. And I thank the management of ISKCON Seshadripuram for giving me this opportunity to glorify the Lord and Shrimad Bhagavatam, which is non-different from the Lord. And although I'm not qualified, but I pray to all the devotees assembled and those who are listening this to bless me so that I can glorify the Lord, who is Anant, the infinite mouths of Ananta Shesh from for the Anant time, eternal time, infinite time cannot glorify the Lord. So I am very, I'm no one in front of that stage. So today's text is Canto 4, Chapter 12, text number 14. Chapter title is Dhruv Maharaj Goes Back to Godhead. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jay Mudire नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नष्टुकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. So we read the text. I'll put it on the display. Okay. Just give me a minute why it is not. Okay. So, एवं बहुसवं कालं महात्मा विचलेन्द्रियः त्रिवर्गोपैकं नीत्वा पुत्रयादान्ध्रपासनम् एवं बहुसवं कालं महात्मा विचलेन्द्रिय त्रिवर्गोपैकं नीत्वा पुत्राय दानृपासनम् एवं बहुसव सवं कालं महात्मा विचलेन्द्रियः त्रिवर्गोपैकं नीत्वा पुत्रा यादन नृपास्वनम्. Synonyms: evam, thus, bahu, many, savam, years, kalam, time, maha, atma, great soul, avichal indriyaha, without being disturbed by sense agitation, trivarga, three kinds of worldly activities, anupaikam, favorable for executing, nitva, having passed, putraya, to his son, Adat, he handed over Nip Asanam, the royal throne. Translation and purport by Krishna Kripa Murti Abhay Charnadvin, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada जी के द्वारा Srila Prabhupada की जय. The self-controlled great soul Dhruv Maharaj thus passed many years favorably executing three kinds of worldly worldly activities, namely religiosity, economic development, and satisfaction of all material desires. Thereafter, he handed over the charge of the royal throne to his son. Purport: perfection of materialistic life is suitably attained by the process of observing religious principles. This leads automatically to successful economic development, and thus there is no difficulty in satisfying all material desires. Since Dhruv Maharaj, as a king, had to keep up his status quo, or it would not have been possible to rule over the people in general, he did it perfectly. But as soon as he saw that his son was grown up and could take charge of the royal throne, he immediately handed over the charge and retired from all material engagements. One word used here is very significant. Avichalendriyaha, which means that he was not disturbed by the agitation of the senses, nor was his sensory power diminished. Although in years he was a very old man, since he ruled over the world for 36,000 years, naturally one may conclude that he may become very old, very, very old, but factually his senses were very young. And yet he was not interested in sense gratification. In other words, he remained self controlled. He performed his duties perfectly according to the materialistic way, that is the way of behavior of great devotees. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, one of the direct disciples of Lord Chaitanya, was the son of a very rich man. Although he had no interest in enjoying material happiness, when he was entrusted with doing something in managing the state, he did it perfectly. Shil Gaur Sundar advised him, from within, keep yourself and your mind completely aloof, but externally execute the material duties just as they need to be done. This transcendental position can be achieved by devotees only, as described in the Bhagavad Gita, while others, such as yogis, try to control their senses by force. Devotees, even though possessing full sensory powers, do not use them because they engage in higher transcendental activities. Thus ends the purport by Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमः विष्णु पादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी। Hare Krishna. So welcome once again for the morning Bhagavatam class. And today we are in the chapter Dhruv Maharaj goes back to Godhead. So the context is Dhruv Maharaj is Dhruv Maharaj went for austerities after getting uh, not very cruel words from his stepmother, mother's Suruchi. So he goes back to forest. Forest, he, with the inspiration of Narad Muni, he does devotional service. He meditates on the form of the Lord, and then Lord Narayan appears. He gets benediction, and he gets benediction that he would serve for 36,000 years. And then he comes back. Then, when he comes back, he sees that his brother who went to Himalayas, his brother Uttam, who went to Himalayas, he is killed by some yakshas. And for that, he goes back to take revenge, and he decides to kill the entire humanity. And during that time, Swayambhu Manu comes. His grandfather. So he persuades, he gives a lot of reasons why he should stop fighting. And then he goes back. And after that, Dhruv Maharaj also gets convinced. And when he gets convinced, then comes Kuver. So Kuver is the principal deities of Yakshas, and Kuver comes to uh, give instructions and benediction to Dhruv Maharaj. And when he asks Dhruv Maharaj, what benediction you want, then Dhruv Maharaj says a beautiful thing that I want only that intelligence, Mahamati, which is enabling me unflinching faith in and remembrance of the Supreme Lord. A Chalitam smritim, achalitam smritim. Why so? Because Dhruv Maharaj is a pure devotee of the Lord. He was purified. He had some material desire in the beginning, but that got purified after receiving the touch of the conch shell of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan. And then when he gets purified, he becomes a pure devotee. So he doesn't want anything. A pure devotee does not get any pleasure from the uh, material pleasures of the material world. But he is always in the spiritual pleasures. Okay, so there are different types of pleasures which are available at different levels, and the first level would be the bodily pleasure, which is at the bodily platform. So like we eat something which is basically sense organs enjoy, and due to that the mind also uh, relishes. When we see something very nice, our eyes get pleasure and the mind also gets pleasure. Similarly, on the when we eat something very nice, maybe some sweet, gulab jamun or maybe rasgulla or something like that, which we like the most, then our tongue also enjoys. But this pleasure is also temporary. Maybe we eat five gulab jamuns, six gulab jamuns. After that, there comes a stage wherein we do not enjoy, rather than we start disliking it. And that is the temporary nature of the material pleasure. Then comes the higher platform is mental platform, wherein we like some song or some good poetry or some good article we read in the book. So we would like to relish, and maybe it may last for a few days, weeks, or months. Like if we like any song of any movie or any other song, then we continue to sing it maybe for some time, and then we remember it, and then we feel nice about it and that surrounding if we remember that. Then but again, this is also temporary, because we in the process, maybe in the childhood also, we would have learned some songs which may have been forgotten by now. Then comes the higher level is the intellect level. It is at the intellectual level. So we see a lot of scientists, a lot of engineers, doctors. They are very busy, or creative people. They are so busy in their life that they spend a whole life in pursuing those interests. Like they say, President Abdul Kazam Azad, when he was asked why he didn't marry, he said, I was so absorbed in my work. When I entered the lab, it was about 20-25 years. And when I exited, it was about 50-55 years. So by the time I didn't get in during that time, whole period, I did not get even a single moment to think of anything else than the scientific experiments he was performing. So like he was a missile man, so he was continuing with his missile work. So he was so absorbed. Similarly, like Madame Curie or all these scientists are so much absorbed that they don't get any time to. Or in politics also, we see a lot of people that they never got any time. They were so absorbed. So, and the fourth stage comes is at the egoistic level. So where the person is very much concerned about his self esteem, what will the society think, or what will be so he derives pleasures in that my status is very high, and his ego gets boosted with the status he has in the society, how many people respect him. So that kind of a pleasure also is a pleasure. But all these four pleasures, what we talked about, bodily platform, mental platform, intellectual platform, and the egoistic platform, esteem, self-esteem platform, whatever the possessions we have, like very costly, expensive car, or very expensive perfume, or very expensive mobile, it can give pleasure, but that is not a long lasting, because that particular thing, whatever the possession we have, is also temporary, because it is made up of material. So these four are material pleasures, which are temporary in nature. But as against that, there is a spiritual pleasure, which is at the soul level, not at the body, gross body or subtle body level, but it is at the spiritual level, and that is permanent in nature, and that is our possession. So if whatever spiritually we are blessed, if we have enjoyed the pleasure of the bliss of associating with Lord, or associating with the devotees, then that bliss is infinite, and that is permanent in nature. Whatever we have achieved here, we'll be carrying it with us when we leave this body. Now, how to convert these pleasures into spiritual? So, Bhagavad Gita says that param drashta nivartate, विषया विनिवर्तते विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः सर्व रसवर्जम रसोपस्यम param drashta nivartate. When we have some higher taste, when we have continued to do the devotional services, then we develop that taste of the love of the Godhead. So similarly, Dhruv Maharaj had this taste of spiritual level. So he was self controlled, and because he was king, so he was continuing his duties. Uh, they outwardly they may look like worldly activities, but he was following the principle of dharma, which is the among the four purusharthas we have dharma, artha, kama, moksha, and the fifth purusharth is Krishna prem. So uh, he was a pious king, and he was ruling the whole universe, this Bhumandala, with the dharma. So Prabhupada writes here that because he was ruling through dharma, on the basis of dharma, the economic development and satisfaction of all material desires were automatic, because he didn't have any material desire, but then he wanted that his citizens also progress in this way. And when he realized that his son was ready to take the throne, take over the charge, then he decided to give up that throne immediately, because he was blessed with avichilindriya. His senses were not disturbed by the agitation, sense material agitation, because his sense it as Prabhupada writes, it was not that his sensory power had been diminished after living for 36,000 years, because 36,000 years is still only 36 percentage of the life of anybody in the Satyuga. Satyuga, we used to live, man used to live for 100,000 years. So he was not a very I mean, in today's world, he may be sounding very, very old man, but then he was not. That is so. This is what we call it like a serpents. The the poison teeth are removed, then the teeth are not the teeth are uh, not as harmful as they are. If the teeth are still there, then they will be causing a lot of harm to others. So these our sensory senses are purified, then we are not indulged in the material pleasures. Rather, we would be trying to serve the Lord. So in this also there is a um, one in Bhagavad Gita there is a verse called 5.22. Yehi sansparshajab hoga dukh yona evate. Just a minute. ये ही संस्पर्शजाब होगा दुख योन य एवते आद्यंतवंतः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधः. The translation is, an intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to the contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end. And so the wise man does not delight in them. So wise man, what a wise man will do? He will ignore these agitation of the senses, and he will be fixed in his firm in his pursuit. What the what is the purpose of this life is? The purpose of this life is to go back to Godhead. This is a precious life we have. So he will not waste his time here. Yogis do not waste time in material pleasures. They'll be rather interested in satisfying the senses of the Lord, who is Rishikesha, Rishikena, Sevaram Bhakti Ruchite. So, Lord of the senses. If we satisfy his senses, then our senses are satisfied automatically. Similarly, there is a one more verse which comes in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Uh, Prabhupada gives a very beautiful purport on this. Yeah. 4.22.39. यत्पादपङ्कजपलाशविलासभक्त्या कर्माशयं ग्रथितमुद्यन्ति सन्त तद्वन्न रिक्तमतयो यततोमपि रुद्ध स्रोतो गणास्तमरणं भज वासुदेवम्. The translation goes like this: the devotees who are always engaged in the service of the toes of the lotus feet of the Lord can very easily overcome hard knotted desires for fruitive activities. Because this is very difficult, the non devotees, the jnanis, and yogis, although trying to stop the waves of sense gratification, cannot do so. Therefore, you are advised to engage in the devotional service of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. So, very nice purport Prabhupada has given in this, which is a great learning for us how to manage our life. So, so the yogis, jnanis, they will always try to control their senses through Ashtanga yoga or any other method like meditation in a very lonely place. But then, if we are stopping the senses or the mind, trying to stop the mind, it will It may happen for some time, but the inner desires will always be coming up and up again. So, what we need to do is Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janatyashu Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Yad Ahetukam. So, we need to devote our life to the devotional services, and devotional services meaning Prabhupada used to say some practical services of the Lord. If we engage ourselves in such a way that we have no time to see to get to get entangled in any of the desires, material desires, then that is the perfection of our life. So here Prabhupada says that a devotee with intelligence plans so many things for the service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness that stagnant material desires become overflooded by the desire to serve the Lord. So, this desire to serve the Lord should overtake our desires, stagnant over the stagnant material desires. So, like Yamunacharya also says, since he has been engaged in the service of the Lord, lotus feet of the Lord, there is always a current of newer and newer desires flowing to serve the Lord. So much so that the stagnant desires of sex life becomes very insignificant. So this is the our main objective of this human form of life. We can see many of the devotees of the Lord who were great exalted kings, rulers in the Shastra. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also we see how they could do all other things also so well that they didn't have to think of any other thing except they were always focused to serve the Lord. Like Ambrish Maharaj, he used all his senses in the service of the Lord. And that is the perfect example how a devotee can devote his life, entire life to serve the Lord. Save manaha Krishna padara vindayo panchasi vaikuntha gunanu varnane karo harer mandir marjanadishu shrutim chakar chut sakathodaya mukullandinga मुकुंद दर्शने दृशो तद भक्त्य गात्र स्पर्शेंग संगमम घ्राणम च तत्पाद सरोज सौरभे श्रीमत्तुलस्यास रसनम तदर्पिते पादो हरे क्षेत्र पदानुसर्पणे शिरो ऋषिकेश पदाभिवंदने कामं च दास्ये न तु काम्य यया यथो उत्तम श्लोक जनाश्रय रति. Translation goes like this: Maharaj Ambarish always engaged his mind in meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna, his words in describing the glories of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the Lord's temple, and his ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna or about Krishna. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, Krishna's temples, and Krishna's places like Mathura and Vrindavan. He engaged his sense of touch in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. He engaged his sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of tulsi offered to the Lord, and he engaged his tongue in tasting the Lord's prasad. He engaged his legs in walking to the holy places and temples of the Lord, his head in bowing down before the Lord, and also his desires in serving the Lord 24 hours a day. Indeed, Maharaj Amrish never desired anything for his own sense gratification. He engaged all his senses in devotional service in various engagements related to the Lord. This is the way to increase attachment for the Lord and be completely freed from all material desires. Very beautiful how nicely Maharaj Amrish, who had so much of responsibilities he would have, but still he engaged all his senses 24 hours a day. That means he was fully absorbed at a bhav level, bhav or prema level. Uh, he was, and still he was ruling the kingdom as well. So these are the symptoms of the devotees. And similarly, Dhruv Maharaj also ruled. He was not engaging himself in any of the material desires, fulfilling the material desires. He was a self-controlled great soul. And so many, even after executing, looking like a worldly activities, but he was doing for the pleasure of the Lord as a duty, because Lord had given him the benediction. So, Avichalendriya, he was not disturbed by the agitation of the senses, nor he was se- sensory diminished. So, similarly, we have some more devotees of the Lord, like Bharat Maharaj. He also ruled so nicely before uh, leaving for the forest. Similarly, Priyavrat Maharaj, he also prayed to the Lord that I should not forget you at any point of time. And similarly, Raja Pratap Rudra, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Leela, Raja Pratap Rudra also full used to always be absorbed in the Lord's, so by serving the Lord, how he can serve the Lord. Ramanand Rai also, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, they are all examples who were the kings, but they were always, the first and foremost duty was to serve the Lord. And they were serving so nicely that the Lord was also pleased with their services, and the subjects whom he was ruling were also very much satisfied. And the earth was also, Mother Earth was also so much satisfied that she was giving everything what the kingdom required, the subjects also required. So he performed his duties perfectly according to the materialistic way. But this is the way behavior of the great devotees. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is another example in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He was the direct disciple among the Shat Goswami. He was so son of a very, very wealthy, um, the jamindar, what they call landlord, and they used to have very, very big income, some lakhs of rupees a month, some 13 lakhs or 15 lakhs rupees a month they were earning 600 years ago. So, very wealthy, riches. So, when he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told him that do your duties in such a way that people see as if you are a material man. But you should be internally, you should be always firmed and fixed up in me. And there will be a right time when I will also call you for my service. So this should be the approach we should have in this life. Uh, that whatever ashram we are situated in, we should be performing our duties in nice way. We are going to workplace for maintaining ourselves. So there we should be looking like as if we are a materialistic person, but internally we should always be remembering Krishna, because ultimately that is the uh, that is the thing which is going to free us from the bondage of birth and death cycle. Otherwise, we'll get absorbed into the materialistic activities. Then we will continue to take birth and death, and that would be cause of pain and pleasures. And these pain and pleasures will be temporary in nature. And whereas our objective is to achieve the eternal pleasure which comes only through spiritual life. spiritual elevation. So, uh, so we associate with so many people in the material world, but the thing is, we should not be influenced by those materialistic men. Rather, we should be giving them some Krishna's mercy to them, so that they get influenced through our association. And that is the way Shri Gaur Sundar advised him to Raghunath Das Goswami, that you deal with the material world in such a way that you look like a material man, but internally you always remember me. Similarly, one example comes like a lady who has a paramour, uh, a person who loves somebody else, and he she does her activities in the household life so well that nobody doubts, but actually she loves the other man outside that home, but she would be performing those duties of the house so nicely that nobody will really have any doubt. So this example was given to Raghunath Das Goswami, that you continue your activities, that these people around you will not uh, have any doubt that you will not run away from that home, because Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to have the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu early in this age, because when he saw him in Shantipur, that time only he wanted, but then he was asked to stay back, serve their parents, serve in the family, and he married also. Then thereafter, a stage will come when you will get that detachment, and I will call you. So automatically, he he got free from that clutches of the family life, and then he joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. So he came to the this Dahi Chida festival. That time he got the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, and he got the darshan of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was given an order by Nityananda Prabhu to organize the feast for the devotees. And once he got that mercy, then he got the association of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where he spent the longest ever time with Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. All other Shad Goswamis like Rup, Sanatan, Bhatt, Raghunath. So other than Raghunath Das Goswami, all other Goswamis um, did not get that much association of the Lord Mahaprabhu. But Raghunath Das Goswami got the most of the, in terms of time and the quality of the association. He received direct instructions from the Sarup Damodar, and because he was taken under the he was given the duties under the Sarup Damodar, who is the associate, intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And because of this only, he could remember the pastimes of the Lord in Jagannath Puri and Madhya Leela, and his pastimes of the South India trip. So he could give this entire description to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who compiled those pastimes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, so this is the way one has to lead the life, that when the proper appropriate time comes, then we should wind up our duties and responsibility, which are material in nature. I mean, which are seemingly to be material in nature, uh, but to set an example. Dhruv Maharaj is setting an example, but otherwise, even if he was ruling the whole world, he was not destroying his pious activities. Like in the previous verse also, we saw that he was diminishing his pious sukritis, pious activities, the fruit actions of the pious activities, and he was performing austerities to remove the reactions of the sinful activities. It was not, but just for setting up an example, because he yad yad acharati shrestha, he was also responsible to take. A king is also responsible to take his subjects to the higher platform of the spiritual level. From material level to spiritual level, he has to advance, and thus he gets the it is his responsibility as a parent. Like for children we are responsible, similarly a king is also is a representative of the Lord. Like he is as good as considered as Vishnu. Earlier the kings were also worshipped as Vishnu, because he is a representative of Vishnu. He is a maintainer of the kingdom, all jivas within the kingdom, including the the animals or birds or all other plant life, etc. So this reason, Dhruv Maharaj, after completing the 36,000 years, he gives this throne to his son and then leaves for Badrikashram. So we'll see how after that Badrikashram he again meditates on the form of the Lord, and then his journey starts. The one airplane comes from the Vaikuntha Loka, and he is taken to the Vaikuntha, and as promised by the Lord, he receives a loka, which is in the material world, though it is in the material world, but that is a Vaikuntha Loka. So very near the Kshira Sagar, this Dhruva Loka exists, and all the planets, our entire planetary system, like Sun, Moon, and the other planets, etc., or the Saptarishis, which are seven sages, they also encircle. They have the circumambulation of Dhruv Maharaj, because Dhruv Maharaj's level is so much exalted. And there, the even during the pralay, which is the devastation takes place at the end of each day of Brahma, or the at the end of the age of Brahma, 100 years, still that Dhruva Loka doesn't get impacted. Dhruva Loka remains as it is, and that's the the highest platform ever achieved by a devotee of the Lord. So, devotee of the Lord can achieve anything. Nothing is impossible for the devotee of the Lord, and that's the glory of Dhruv Maharaj. So, with this chapter ending, we'll be completing the whole Dhruv Maharaj pastime, which is very, very uh, inspiring for all of us to stay firm and fixed in our sadhana or our spiritual life, and we should have a very determined, firm goal of our life to lead this. In this life itself, we should be aiming to achieve the perfection of our life. Thank you very much. This is my understanding and whatever I've heard from the senior devotees, Vaishnavas. So I shared. If there is any mistake or any correction, please, you are most welcome to point it out. And that is my own mistake, nothing from any other. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you,
Vancha.
Prabhu. Dhanavad, Prabhuji.
Hare
Wonderful.
Krishna.
Sorry. Sorry, Prabhu. Wonderful
Yeah, yeah,
explanation,
please.
Prabhu. I think this should keep us inspired in continuing our spiritual life, looking at the example of Dhruv Maharaj. Thank you so much for the explanation, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you very much. And you please pray for me that I can also take little, some maybe minute one drop of the qualities of the ocean Dhruv Maharaj had, so that we advance in this life. Thank you very much. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।